Hello everyone, it is like literally the end of the day and I'm barely getting the chance to talk to you. That is insane. I am so sorry. I hope you all are having a really wonderful day. But today was a really crazy day, it seemed like. It's been raining outside. I started getting a really bad sinus migraine, just like that pressure like right here on the side of my face. So I ended up taking some medicine. Now I have a really bad taste in my mouth. Oh, it's awful. But like literally during both of my breaks, I feel like I've been running around like making copies and just doing things that I forgot I had to do, or I couldn't find copies for things. I don't know. It was just one of those weird days. Either way, it is now the end of the day. I am kind of getting a few things finished. I started organizing some things because I had Scholastic magazines left over from an older teacher, which I'm so grateful for these Scholastic magazines, but they were not in any kind of organization at all. So I went through and organized a bunch of these that I had so that we could use them for some of our small groups and some of their assignments that they do individually. So did that. I have some extra ones over here that I still need to kind of sort through. We ended up taking a quiz on text features so that I can kind of get an idea as far as where my kids are with text features. Some of them are not doing that great. Others, on the other hand, are doing fantastic. Then I'm also getting ready for DRAs. Are you loving my hot mess that I have going on right now? It's ridiculous. Then we're gonna start getting on DRAs this week. So woohoo, tons of fun. I told you guys in yesterday's video that I am really want to talk to you a lot about choice and student choice and how you can incorporate some of that student choice into your classrooms if you are already not doing it. So in the last video, we talked a little bit about flexible seating. Today, I want to talk to you about student choice when it comes to activities that they're doing independently, or even when they're at your small group table, or when they're doing kind of your centers or your rotations. So the idea behind this is choice boards. And I know a lot of people have heard of choice boards, almost like those bingo boards that you've seen before, but it's giving the kids the opportunity to be able to make the choices and what it is that they are actually doing. So I'm going to give you an example, and for me, I'm going to use word study at the moment. If you are looking at my word study, I give a lot of different choice with activities that they get to choose from. So they would get their choice board here, and they have the flexibility to fill out the different activities that they want to complete with their word sort. So as they're going, they are making that choice of, oh, today I'm going to do picture it. So they'll pull this out, and they will have the chance to be able to attach it to their big choice board here. If you want to definitely know more about word study, I have a video that is up on word study, and it is up on my channel, so you can definitely go and check that out if you want to get a better idea of this. But again, it's just something where they are given the opportunity to be able to go and fill it out versus you telling them exactly what it is that they need to do. So that could definitely work with rotations. So like if you have word workstations, well, are you giving your students choices with what they're doing for their word workstations? And at one point when I was in kindergarten, I had a bucket, and each of my buckets had different activities inside of them. Hold on, let me show you. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of pretending right now, but let's say I had a bucket like this and said, hey, in this bucket, there's going to be word families inside of it, or it's high frequency words inside of it. And then I had a ton of different activities that all went towards that skill that I wanted them to practice. So if it was high frequency words, maybe I had about 4 or 5 different activities in there that they could complete with high frequency words. Now, I did not expect them to do all of the high frequency word activities. I just wanted them to complete one of them. So giving them that option to be able to choose an activity versus you telling them which activity. They feel a little bit more ownership in there. You're adding some more of that independent factor in it, and that responsibility factor too, which I feel like is really important. So another one would be math. And my amazing partner teacher had this incredible idea, and she's been working incredibly hard about it and getting it off the ground. So kudos to her. She is fantastic. She's doing goal work, and inside of this goal work, what she does is she says, hey, if you are working on patterns, if that is your goal for the week, then you are going to have a number of different activities that you can go to complete. So as they're working on their goal work activities, they would go to a big basket that would hold these folders inside of it. Then she has the activity that's in there and what they need to do to be able to complete the activity. So all of these would be on patterns, and she has other ones. I just picked up what I could find. She has all the patterns kind of bunched together. So when the kids are ready to go through and make their choices for what it is that they're completing for their goal work, they can go and look at this big bucket that has all of these different activities for them. So they have a little bit of that choice into what it is that they are completing and what day are they actually completing that activity. Now, you can definitely make this a guided choice if you want to make it a guided choice and say, hey, you have 5 activities. You need to get all 5 activities done this week. I don't care in what order you get them done, so long as you get them done. That too is okay. You're still giving them some of that choice and that responsibility factor, knowing that they needed to get all 5 of them done, but you're not kind of pinning them down and saying, hey, you're doing this activity at this time this way. So really giving them that choice to be able to choose from some variations of things. Now, I will tell you, you have to be very explicit with how you teach them to grab the activities, what they're doing with those activities, and then how to put the activities back. Because let me tell you, it is like the craziest and most upsetting thing is to be able to go and find that all the activities are a hot, crazy mess inside of your bucket. So definitely be very explicit when you're doing this, and at the beginning of the year, or if you're wanting to try to implement some of that student choice now, that you are being like, you're showing them the correct, incorrect, and then you're modeling that correct all over again, so that they know the expectations once you put these out and kind of let them go free with it. So just another way for you to be able to incorporate some of that student choice. So another way that you can incorporate some of that student choice is with the text that your students are actually using. So if you have been watching my videos, you know that I have maps, and I tell my students that they have to complete certain tasks independently to show that they're mastering those skills. So let's say that they're working on plot. Then I would say, okay, so I want to see that you can understand and apply plots to various texts. So typically we'll do a passage from like a short story together. They'll have a short story that they complete by themselves, and they also get choices within those short stories. So I have multiples of those available that the kids will be able to select from. Typically I kind of just put them out on my table, and then I tell them to go around and select from those. But then they also have that choice for when they're doing their picture book selection. So let's say that they're working on plot for realistic fiction. Well, I have my realistic fiction picture books set up here ready for them to kind of look through, so that they can choose what book that they would like to complete it with. So they would kind of flip through this book and say, oh, okay, I'm going to do the Patricia Polacco book. Thank you, Mr. Falker. So this is the book that they would choose to complete their plot map, and then they would turn that into me. So this is just another easy way for you to be able to apply some of that choice. And I know if you are doing like daily 5, those choice books are also really, really important. Giving students the opportunity to be able to go out and find books that are on their level, but they're good fit books and books that they're going to enjoy and they want to read. Those are just other ways that you can implement that choice factor in that too. When you do book studies, I feel like I'm talking a lot. When you do book clubs, definitely apply that student choice there. Don't just assign your students where they're going to be reading and who are they going to be reading it with. I know that you are wanting to try to calm down with some of those like behaviors, and you're wanting to prevent some of those, but typically if your students are engaged in what they're reading and they really enjoy what it is that they're reading, then those like behavior problems should hopefully limit. And of course, if you know that you have that one group that has all of those kids in it, you're going to be around that group quite a bit. So that's another thing too. But you can put out a ton of books up here, and I usually do a book tasting. And so with my book tastings, I'll put those books out in my room, and they'll kind of go around and they'll look at the book, and I teach them how we go through and preview texts. So they'll get the opportunity to preview text, and then they get to sign up for the books that they would like to read for their book clubs. Again, just another way to add that student voice and choice in there, so that they have the opportunity to be able to select what it is that they're reading and how are they completing the assignment that is being requested on them. So these are just some really easy and simple ways for you to add some of that voice and choice inside of your classroom. I know others have, you know, if they're doing their reading time, they have those choice boards that look a lot like bingo boards, and they have to complete like 5 of them, or they have to get, you know, them down across or diagonal, whichever way you want to do it in your classroom. But again, it still allows for some of that voice and choice where the students feel a little bit more ownership. And to me, it's so important to get these kids to be independent. They're not independent enough, and if we are constantly saying, you are here, you are doing this, and this is how you're doing it, and this is how long you're going to do it for, how are we setting up our kids for success? How are we really showing them how are they going to be successful in the real world where you are managing your own time? We talked a lot with them this morning about how us as adults, we have to be able to manage our time. And so that was something that we discussed with them, and we said, you guys have to be able to manage some of the choices that you make in life. And so you're gonna make mistakes, we get that, but we're here to help you understand how to fix those mistakes and what you did wrong and how you can fix it in the future. That is what we are here for. We are facilitators in their learning. So think about what are some things that you are doing in your classroom where you're taking away some of that choice, but how can you now put that choice back in your classroom? Like I said in the last video, if you haven't done it for the first semester, this might be a really great time for you to apply that voice and choice, because kids are doing a little bit better. They understand the expectations. You know, you're starting to kind of get into that rhythm. You can start showing them and giving them newer things and saying, let's try this out now. You guys are doing such a great job, and I've been so proud of how hard you've been working, and you guys have understood the expectations of this classroom. Now I want to give a little bit back, and let's try something a little different. So give them the opportunity to be able to explore with other options that could add some of that independence into the classroom again. In other news, my stage is a hot mess. So you guys want to see it because it's really, really funny. I have to leave in like 30 minutes. So we did this today with sentence structure. We're looking at building independent clauses, independent clause, dependent clause, all that good jazz. Good times. Let me see. That is a hot mess. That indicates that learning has happened in the classroom. It's gonna be a little bit relaxed in the class. Look at that. We can't really. I have to find a new system for this, because this little file folder thing is not cutting it in my life. It does not make my organizing heart happy. It is just like falling all over the place, and it drives me crazy. In other news, I got some book orders in. Woo! I love Scholastic book orders. They just make my heart happy. It's raining outside. Okay, so I need to clear off my desk a little bit. I think I have all of the copies that I need. I do have a meeting in the morning, and I have a meeting that I have to go to right now. I'm part of the reading council for my area, so we're having a meeting, and we're doing a author online where the author is going to talk a little bit about some up and coming like literature for kids, which is so exciting because I love when authors come on and talk about some really upcoming cool, you know, new pieces of literature. So that is what we're going to go and talk about and kind of get those details finalized. So now we're going to go through and kind of finalize some of those details to kind of get everything underway. I think it's in February, so we're doing that in February, and I will totally keep you guys up to that and kind of watch what this author has to say. So that's really exciting. I'm excited about it. Okay, I need to stop yapping because I have to get my stuff cleaned up. Okay, so I am on the run. So I did a parent phone call, and then I also had to talk with my principal for a little bit about some things that happened today. So all of that has happened, and I have gotten nothing done. Like, my table is a stinking hot mess. But it's okay. We're gonna survive and it's gonna be fine. I have to drive probably about 20 minutes to get to this meeting that I need to go to. At least there's going to be food. Hopefully I'll touch base with you guys later on, but I have got to get on the road. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so that is done. It is almost 7 o'clock and I am ready to get my butt home. I had a pretty good meeting. Like, we had lunch or dinner, I had a soup, and then I had crazy because it was already freezing in there as it was, but I ended up having like some brownie and ice cream stuff, which I've had before, which is so delicious, and now I'm freezing even more. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just end my video here, guys, but I hope you were able to get some more student choice ideas out of it. Please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, share it out, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys really, really soon. Bye!